This episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by 30 and 2 CPR. Unfortunately, we don't always know when tragedy will strike. But when every second counts, isn't it good to know that 30 and 2 CPR is just one heartbeat away? Our qualified instructors are standing by to provide you and your staff with the training you need to meet emergencies head on. Visit our website at www.30and2cpr.com or call us at 919-923-6055 to schedule your training event today.
Madeline Clark Warren was born June 13, 1930. She deceased September 24, 2004. She was 74 years young. She was the mother of 7 children. Her youngest son, Kenny, preceded her in death. Her oldest son, Aaron, just joined her in death. She was married to the love of her life, Archie Warren, over 54 years. She had 8 grandchildren and a host of other nieces and nephews. Our family home was located on the outskirts of Benson, North Carolina, where my 6 siblings and I, along with my mom and dad, lived. Our mom was a stay-at-home mom. There was always plenty of food to eat. She cooked 3 meals a day, and we always have plenty of clean clothes to wear. She had a good relationship with her siblings and her extended family. She loved going to church, and she made sure the Warren children went to church every single Sunday. She was a very loving lady with a big heart. Her close friends and relatives called her Mag. Get a glimpse into the Warren's household, where Mary Magdalene Warren, the matriarch, the great woman of faith, who raised me and my siblings, along with our dad, with a firm yet loving hand. As we continue to celebrate Mother's Day 2023, I would love to bring in on the set my siblings to talk about the fond memories of our dearly loved mom. I know some of you are watching during your lunch break, so let's chat and chew while you do.
Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Hello everyone, this is Glenn Warren, founder and executive director of Fathers Forever. I want to share an alarming reality with you. 627,000 fathers are incarcerated that have kids under 18. Now, there are 56,000 moms incarcerated who have kids under 18. The reality is there are so many more fathers incarcerated than moms. This is why I Am a Father Forever book exists. Now, I need your help. I am inviting you to help us get this book into as many fathers incarcerated as possible. Here's how it works. For your donation of $22, we will provide a book to an incarcerated father. Thank you in advance for helping Fathers Forever heal fathers and save families. Welcome everyone. We are here today. We're going to be celebrating Mother's Day this coming Sunday, but I decided to get my siblings together today, and we're all in the studio. And I started to come up with some questions, but I decided not to. And we're going to just have a heart-to-heart conversation about our mom and, you know, what she meant to all of us. And so I want to go around and let everybody introduce themselves and tell us where in the family do you fit, whether you're the oldest, middle, or whatever. So I'll start with my wife. Take your name and your age. No, I'm just playing.
Hi, my name is Carol, and I am the baby of the family.
Wow.
I'm Priscilla, and I am the third oldest and middle girl.
And my name is Glenn, and I am actually in the middle. I have 3 older and 3 younger. There's 7 of us. I'm in the middle.
And I am Erlene Stroud, and I am the oldest.
Tommy Warren. I'm the third son and the 5th child.
Yeah, so we are all family here. We decided to get together and talk about our mom on Mother's Day. I want to start out that, and then we're going to just kind of have a conversation about what our mom went to each of us. And to me,
Mom was, she got me out of a lot of trouble with my dad. I was kind of not a rebellious child, but just kind of had my own mind of what I wanted to do. And my mom would always come and intercede on my behalf, keep my dad from beating my behind. Sometimes it worked, and sometimes it didn't work. And I remember one time that I had called myself a run away from home, went over to my older sister's house, and my dad found out about it. But she had to wake my dad up. He had to come and try to find me. I don't know to this day how he knew where I was, but he found me, running down 301. And the dogs were barking, and I'm scared, too scared to go forward, but too scared to go back. And all of a sudden, I saw this blue station wagon, and I see the brakes come on, and he started to back up, and he pulled down the run and told me, boy, get in this car. And I got in the car, didn't say a word, got back home, and said, go in the house. And I actually went in the house, and my dad went out to the woods, he got a stick, and came back, and I was probably going to beat me the crap out of me that night. Now, I probably would try to fall back, he probably would kill me. But my mom stood up on that porch and said, you're not going to hit my son with that stick tonight. And my daddy dropped the stick, went back to work, and I survived that night. I never tried that again. But I remember my mom telling me, and I think I talked about this last week. I was talking about my mom, how she, and I was a very sickly child, as y'all remember. And the doctor said I had rickets, then I had yellow jaundice, and the doctor said I was going to never walk. And I was a real, my mom had told me this story so many times. And she called our pastor at the time, Vera Hampton. She came and laid hands on me and prayed for me. And she gave me back to my mom. She told my mom, I'm going to be all right. Now, mind you, I'm 3 days old. I don't remember none of these conversations. But my mom told me this story so many times. And I've heard this story so many times. And one time when the next day, my color came back. The yellow jaundice was gone. They did exploratory surgery because my liver was covered with little black dots. And they did exploratory surgery. The doctor said wasn't nothing they could do. They sewed me back up. And then I had rickets, which is a bone disease. And the doctor said I would never walk. And so when God healed me of the yellow jaundice, he also healed me of the bone disease, rickets. And so I remember going back to the doctor. My mom took me back to the doctor. And I was probably, I guess I was at the age of walking. And my mom said she put me on the floor and told the doctor that I could walk. And the doctor said, no, he can't walk. He's got this disease. And she put me down on the floor. My mom said, not only did I walk, but I ran over to her on the other side of the room. And the doctor said, it's got to be a miracle. So I've been walking for the last 65 years. So my mom was one of the ones, and I guess she told me this story, not too long before she passed away. I was picking her up and taking her somewhere, and I always would ask her about this story. And when I asked her, her eyes would light up, and she would tell me, that this is what happened, this happened, So that gave me faith, and so that's one of the stories that I really, a lot of them, I got 1,000 of them, and we all do. But I'll be quiet, and I'll let y'all talk about Mom and what she meant to y'all.
Well, I remember my mom telling me how I was such a difficult birth.
Wow.
She suffered with me because when it was time for me to be born, not only was I turned around feet first, but I was face down.
Wow.
So they didn't think I was going to survive. So they had to get me out of there. And back then, you know, they weren't doing a lot as far as giving pain medicine and all that stuff. So she said she would be in so much pain, they would give her just a little bit of gas and it would sort of like pass her out. But they couldn't give her much because they needed her to push. And then she said they just kept working and turning until they got me. They just had to go ahead. They got me turned around, but I was still face down. So they just had to pull me out. And since I was face down, they thought I was not going to be breathing. So, you know, they had to work on me. But when I came out, since I was face down, it was so much blood. All the blood had rushed to my face. And the doctors, all they could say was, "Oh, wow, she's a beautiful baby." Because I wasn't ugly and blue. You know, because most babies are ugly and blue when they're born, you know, before they're all cleaned up and everything. But I had a red face and just started yelling. And I've been yelling ever since.
That's true. Anyway, she was always the one who was told on all of us. She was the tattletale of the family.
I don't know how difficult, you know, I was or it was while she was carrying me. But I do remember Mama telling me that the doctors advised her to not have me. And they advised her to have an abortion. And they told her that if she had me, she would die. But she said, no, I'm not going to have an abortion. I'm going to have her. And here I am today. So I'm so glad that she had the faith to believe, you know, what God could do. Even though the doctors, you know, had their report, she believed the report of the Lord. And I also remember as a little girl, my mama could sew. And she would make a dress for me on Saturday night and make a dress for her on Saturday night. And we would wear it to church on Sunday morning. She could sew anything. She had patterns and just could make anything. And I remember that fond memory of just going to church and something new that I knew that my mother had made the night before.
Wow.
And not only that, she made prom dresses. When I used to go sing in the ensemble, she would make me a new gown to wear.
Yeah.
Anything you had to be in, she would make you something.
Okay, hi, I'm Earlene. A lot of the stuff that the other ones are saying, unfortunately, I was there for all of it. And when Carol was getting ready to be born, I told Mama, we don't want another baby. Take her back. And she's already born now at home. We want her to go back. Mama sent me that. She said, you cannot send your sister back. That's your baby sister. But of course, we would learn to love her. But at the time, no, we did not want her. Mama has always been my confidant. She was the one that I could go talk to, the one that taught me how to cook, the one that taught me how to clean, that taught me how to love my husband. She is the one that taught me pretty much everything. And the most thing that I remember about her, I lost my daughter in 2004. Mama was my biggest supporter. She was there for me. She talked to me. I think she called me every day to make sure that I was doing okay, because that was a big loss to me. And it affected me deeply as well as my husband, but Mama was always there. She always supported me. She supported me in everything that I did. I got married young, but she was there. She supported me. She said, it doesn't matter what you've done, you just learn from your mistakes. And so all I can say is that I miss her. I love her. She was the best thing that ever happened to me.
I'm Tommy. I'm the third son, fifth child. My mother always been mom. I used to call her Mumsy. And I started calling her that after I became an adult and left home. And I don't think maybe my other siblings knew that I used to call her Mumsy, but that was my nickname for her. Like I give nicknames to a lot of my family members and friends. I do remember one time coming home. I used to do transportation. They had a limousine service, so oftentimes I had to go down to Fayetteville. And so coming back through, I would stop by and see mom and dad. And then when I went and talked to my mom, I remember her saying, "If only you believe." So that stands out to me to this day. If only you believe. Mom had great faith. She was a good cook. Really good
As
cook.
you can tell,
And she would cook sometimes three meals a day.
Every day.
What you mean?
Biscuits. Biscuits at least cooked from scratch, at least twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. She took care of her kids. My dad worked. She stayed home and nurtured us. And then in the summertime, she would go work in the fields with us.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, she means so much to all of us. She means so much to me. We love you, Bumsy.
And we have a piece of her. This is her mother's ring,
Wow, okay.
and it's got all our birthstones in it.
We gave it to her
Oh, wow.
one Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is her mother's
Can I
ring.
look at that? Yeah, I remember that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like Tommy was saying, I mean, Mama cooked every day because Daddy, he was an eater, and he had to have 3 meals a day. So she would be up cooking breakfast, and there were biscuits with each meal.
Mm-hmm.
And with 7 of us, there wasn't a lot left over. So then there was another meal at lunchtime because Daddy would come home for lunch. Then he'd go back to work, and then for supper, she would cook again. And, you know, in later years, she still did the same thing. So she cooked, you know, even when all of us or all of them, because I was the last one there. So, you know, I stayed with her, and I even had my daughter with her, at home. And so she still cooked. I mean, when she got so she wasn't able to stand, she would sit in a chair by the stove and cook meals from start to finish.
I remember.
So she would do that. But Mama was a protector. And of course, I was a senior in high school and got pregnant. And, you know, she talked to Daddy because he was upset that I had gotten pregnant. But she, you know, talked to him and say, she ain't the first and she's not going to be the last. And we're going to make it. You're going to take care of her. And my daughter, Lord have mercy, it was his 8th child. So it all worked out. You know, Daddy loved each and every one of us, and Mama loved each and every one of us. And she would always cover us and pray for us. And I remember her telling me one time, she's like, I don't worry about you. She said, I know you're going to be all right. So Mama spoke a lot of things over our lives that I don't even think we realized that she did.
Right.
But she spoke over our lives, and she was an example. You know, I can understand and believe that she taught you how to be a wife because she was a good wife.
Right.
And, you know, she prepared us, even though I've never been married, but she still prepared me for a husband because she would tell us, as she was doing for Daddy, she would tell us that's how you're supposed to do for your husband. So it's sad to say you don't see that nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
my
she
mom
did it.
a lot of stuff. I mean, she would fix Daddy's plate. Daddy would go sit at the table,
Yeah.
and he would sit there, and he would wait for Mama to bring him a plate of food.
He wouldn't
And
eat.
she would always fix him a plate. And at first, when I first got married, I did that. I said, oh, no. I'm not going down that road. I am not fixing your plate. You can go to the kitchen and fix your own plate.
But she
I
taught us.
it, but she taught me,
She
but I
taught us.
stopped it.
She also told me She said, when you get married, if you get married, don't never fix your husband's plate unless it's something that you are going to continue to do for as long as you live. She said, don't never start it.
Yeah, don't start anything that you're not willing to
keep
continue
up.
to do.
Mhm.
Well, yeah.
She taught me how to make biscuits.
Yeah.
And I made biscuits when I first got married from scratch. And I think I'm the only one that actually learned how to make biscuits from scratch. When Priscilla and Carol came along, they pushed it aside.
Well,
They said
We
no.
didn't have to do it as much.
I made some one time and
They were like rocks.
they were like rocks. But my daddy ate one.
He didn't want to hurt her
I think I
feelings.
remember that. But I do remember Pop Mama's biscuits. And early we love you, but your biscuits could have took Pop biscuits.
Yeah, they could.
But Mama would make best biscuits. And
They don't pick up that.
and my father used to say, Marilyn, make sure those kids have enough to eat. And he knew she was going to take care of us, make sure. Because we always wanted more than we full, we still want more. But there was always plenty of food on our table. Always plenty of food. We grew up in the country. We had a garden. We had
Livestock.
chickens,
Chickens, pigs.
pigs, cows. And that, so we were rich. We didn't realize how rich we were until we left home and said, oh, so eat some of their eggs. It wasn't like my mom's eggs. So we appreciate you, Mom.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Yeah. Mom was a stay-at-home mom.
yeah.
Mhm.
She never really worked. I remember one time she got a job at a kitchen. They didn't last long.
Really?
It lasted about.
No.
It lasted about 2 weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
She was working.
I remember that.
Yeah. She was worked. It lasted about 2 weeks. She had to work in the afternoon, and I know Daddy was mad. He didn't want to do it, but she was like, "I'm going to work," and so she did. Mom was strong, and she was submissive to some degree,
Mhm.
and she was a lot of degrees.
Mhm.
But when she wanted something to happen, it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Right.
Like I said so many times, she bent, but she didn't break.
Right.
And so Daddy was by far the head of the house. That was hands down. But my mom, she ran the house, and a lot of times my dad kind of backed down to her
Mhm.
because of what she stood for, and
He knew she was right.
She was right.
She was actually our protector.
And he know
She
he couldn't do
protected
nothing.
her kids
yeah,
Mhm.
because Daddy could get mad and Daddy would be ready to beat, like he said, beat the crap out of you. But Mama would gladly step in and say, "No,
Yeah.
you're not doing that."
He didn't do it.
And he didn't do it. He would back down.
Yeah.
He would get on in that bed and go to sleep.
yeah.
He didn't want him to get on. But I do remember how I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, Mama never had a driver's license, right? She could,
Right, I was going to say that.
Yeah.
but she would have to drive us from our house to the cucumber yard.
Neighborhood.
In the neighborhood, it was a dirt road,
Yeah.
and she would have that '59 Chevrolet in the wind. One time she would turn the curve, all was like holding on for dear life.
Now, see, I don't remember Mama ever driving.
Oh, I remember.
That was before you were born.
Oh God, I remember that. We all
That
rocking
was
in that
before you were born.
rock and roll in our car, and she'd get us there, and she'd get us at home. We could have walked there, but that was a long walk, and she would drive that station, whatever it was, '59 Chevrolet, and she would get us back there.
But, saying that, as all of you all grew up and was able to drive, there was always someone that was old enough to drive her where she needed to be.
Exactly.
And everybody took turns,
Yes.
driving her. So
and we
when
loved it.
right, so when Erlene was up and not at the house, then it was Aaron, and Aaron is our oldest brother, who we lost in January, and he was short in stature, but he just could barely see over the sternum wheel. But he was the next one that would drive her.
Mhm.
Then it was Glowing. Then it was Priscilla.
There was
Priscilla,
one.
then Glowing, then Tommy, and even down Kenny is another one of our brothers who passed years ago, and then it was me. So every one of us have always driven Mama where she needed to be.
So Mom didn't have to get a license.
No, she didn't.
Like you said, everybody took turns, and everybody happily do that because
Yeah.
that means we got out of some work.
Yeah, shopping,
And
going to
we had to
church.
drive her downtown, uptown,
Round town.
around town, business. That means we wasn't home working.
Yeah.
So,
Visiting.
Yeah. And I remember every Sunday we was at church.
Mhm.
Now Dad wasn't
Sunday
much,
school too.
Sunday school.
Oh, yeah.
Daddy wasn't much of a church goer,
Churchgoer.
but he made sure
We went.
that we went. And a lot of times, like you said, when Earlene was driving, she would drive us all to the Sunday school,
Mhm.
church on Sunday morning, and then everyone, then Priscilla, then me. But we was always in church every single Sunday. And when we had the 40 night revival, we went there a lot. I don't know if we made all 40 nights, but we went there.
A good portion. My mama was my babysitter. I had
Yeah.
2 kids that she baby. I think she might have kept my youngest one a little bit. By then she was getting up in age, but she refused to have anybody else to keep my kids. And we stayed in Smithfield. Mama was in Benson, so that means I had to leave my oldest daughter. I had to leave her down there all week long. We take her down on Sunday, go back and pick her up on Friday. Then when my second one came along, she kept her for a while, but she didn't keep her as much as she did my oldest one. And Tim, she just kept him a little bit.
Right.
But she did. She refused to have anybody else to keep her grandkids.
Macy thought she was one of
She
them.
thought she was.
Yeah, my oldest one thought
She
she
was
was,
the eighth.
one of
The
the
ninth
children
child.
because they would ask her how many sisters and brothers she had. And she said, I got 7. And they was like, who? They were her uncles and her aunt.
Yeah.
She called them her sisters and her brothers.
Right. Yeah.
And they call Mama Granny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the name for
Everybody
her.
called her
Yeah.
granny.
And
And Mama was not only your babysitter, but she babysitted for people in the neighborhood.
She
Yeah.
did.
As
yeah,
well.
Yeah.
She did that.
She was a neighborhood mom.
Mhm,
People came to us, the mom, and she, we had a big backyard, big 5-yard,
mhm.
but we had a big basketball court, and a lot of times the neighbors would come and play basketball. And our house was the neighborhood house that everybody gathered a lot.
Right.
And so we would come, and my mom would take care of everybody, and those days they don't make.
They don't make them like that anymore.
And mom and dad were married for how many years?
It was over 50 because
they
we
was
had
over
their
50
50.
years.
Yeah.
We had their, yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost 60.
Mm-hmm. Almost.
They were married in 1930, figure it from there.
Wow. Yeah.
Was it
No, that was when
1930?
she
No,
was
that's
born.
when she was
She was born. Yeah.
That's when
And dad was like 6 years old.
They were 6 years apart.
6 years
They were
apart.
6 years
Daddy
apart.
born in 24.
So,
But they
Um,
was married over 50 years.
yeah, they was married over 50 years because we had that event for them for their 50th year anniversary.
And I think that's one of the times every time somebody got wind of it, it just got bigger. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part of the timeline. Mom used to say, if only you believe. See, there was so many times that resonated with me. Whatever I'm trying to do, I used to talk about starting business. And what I want to do. He said, only if you believe. That was, faith was a part of his family.
Right. And also, there was a time where Daddy worked in D.C.
Yes.
and he was gone during the weekend. He would come back on the weekend. So that left Mama with,
Right.
Raising
other
us.
Weekend, yeah.
yeah,
and-
you know.
That's right.
So,
And that happened for a couple of years.
Yeah.
That happened every.
Yeah, that helped.
Every,
About 5 years.
Sunday-
They did that for a while.
Yeah, he would drive to Maryland, stay all week, and come back Friday night.
mhm.
And my mom was the one that raised us for those years.
In between.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we stayed in line because of a couple of things. Number one, Mama would get us herself.
Right.
She had to call Daddy.
She
Yeah.
didn't.
If we misbehaved, she would get us.
Mhm.
The other thing was, if we do, she would say, "I'm gonna tell your daddy on you,"
Yeah.
and you didn't want those words.
He didn't want that.
And so those things kept us in line. That thank God, we was all good kids. We never really, got into any trouble coming up. I remember my mom. She really got mad with us. Tommy and I. We was in high school then, and we went to the store obviously and got some beer, and go outside the house, and we were drinking it, and we would come back and put, I don't know what a dummy we were, put the beer can in a bag under the bed. And Mom came in one day,
Wait,
cleaned
you
it.
smell it.
No, it just empty beer
You
can. We
can
didn't.
still smell
Well,
it.
we didn't drink the beer out of it. I don't know why we didn't leave. I guess we were drinking in the house.
Remember
Drinking in the house, yeah.
That ain't
But anyway,
happening.
Mom came in and found out, got cleaned up on the bed and saw those beer cans. She hit the ceiling. But Daddy calmed her down.
Did she?
Yes, she went off. She went off.
And that's the last
But
time.
Daddy calmed her down. He said, I would rather for them
Yeah.
to be drinking beer than to be drinking out in the street. She kind of calmed down, but that never happened again.
Yeah.
We never did. Now, in the pack house, we did drink some more beer, but it never came.
Gosh.
They
Why
didn't do
didn't
it
you
in the house.
tell me?
But she, I mean, to tell you how good my mom was, after I had got married, she cooked a meal for my husband every day because he worked second shift. So she would fix him something before he went to work and then fix him something to take with him to work. She cooked for him just like he was her child.
Mhm.
And she did it right after I got married because we were staying with her.
Yeah.
So she took care of him just like she took care of her own children.
But now I don't feel bad about eating some of his cornflakes he used to have. In a bowl.
The Thurman cornflakes.
He's like, but
Thurman is her husband, Ernie's
Yeah.
husband.
Yes.
Yeah, we all grew up in Benson. It was 7 of us, like Carol said. We lost our younger brother years ago, and then we lost our older brother just in January. And so there were 7 of us. We were a
Tight-knit
big
family. And Daddy taught us that.
Yeah, they taught
And
us.
of course, Mama backed it up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can always come home.
Right.
yes.
And you fight with anybody, but don't fight with your brothers and
Yeah.
sisters. Y'all stick together.
And
You know,
somebody-
that was the thing that both of them taught us.
yes.
And take care of Priscilla.
Exactly.
It is.
And if you got beat up,
Daddy used to say all the
Now, and
time.
take care of
Daddy
Tommy.
used to say it all the
He go
time.
across the porch and break his arm. So yeah, take care of him.
Yeah.
Well, you know the ones that needed extra care.
And take care of Glenn, because he always getting in trouble.
yeah.
So
And you know, a lot of times when it came to getting whippings, I was spared a lot.
Because she had nosebleeds.
Well, you know, we didn't get a lot of whippings, but mom was. I don't want to be getting.
I was
getting
promised
whipped
a
by
lot.
Dad, but mom would get switch her once for
I was mischievous.
Yeah.
For the most part, we
I
good
really
kids.
was.
Yeah.
Another thing I like to say about mom, we would, you know, sometimes kids learn how to manipulate their parents. I'm not saying we manipulate them. I just want to use that word.
But we did it like all other kids did.
Yeah.
And so when it's time to go out, so as we got older, Glenn and I used to go out and hang out a lot together. Still too. So we would go ask her first. Hey, Mom, can we go out? She would say, "Well, go ask your dad." But we would always ask her first. When we went out and asked Dad, he would say, "Well, did you ask your
Did you
mom?"
ask? Yes.
Yes. And she said it was. So
Yeah.
we were able to go out.
But you never went back and say, Mama said yes, if she said no.
Right. Yeah, you knew better than that.
You know, that would be a not a good day for you.
Right, but I'm glad y'all said that because that was a testament of how together they were.
Yeah,
And you couldn't get over on one.
that's right.
And, you know, like some parents do now.
Yeah,
I mean, some children do now.
They split.
Because that's what they will always say. Did you ask your daddy?
Uh-huh.
No, man, we'll go ask your daddy. And you go, did you ask your mama? We'll go ask your mama. So then, you know, whatever.
They said, you better not switch it up. If they said no,
And
you
we
said
did
no.
switch it up.
And,
If you say yes,
and we thought we were smart because Daddy would sit in the chair and go to sleep. And we know we wanted to go out. We wait till he
He go
get
to
about half sleep. And then we wake him up, and of course he going, yeah, you asked your mama, and you know. But he caught on.
Yeah.
He said, "You won't go out no more unless you ask me when I'm wide awake."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I was a baby, so I didn't do none of that stuff.
Yeah.
That was them.
Yeah. So I know we're getting time to wrap up. We could talk until Jesus come back about Mary Magdalene Warren, Mary Magdalene Clark Warren. She was our beloved mother, and we loved her so much. And she taught us so many things. We are today, all of us, successful in doing what God called us to do, mainly because of my mom and my dad. But my mom, you know, we're going to celebrate our dad during Father's Day weekend as well. But my mom my dad was, like I said before, we know he was the head of the, there's no question about it, but my mom was the backbone. She ran the stuff and it was done right. It was done fair. She taught us to be honest and trustworthy and with integrity, and your word is your bond. And I remember one time I was getting ready I had separated and divorced and get ready to date this girl, and my mom found out about it, and she looked at me and she said, "You're not gonna be serious about her. Leave her alone." And I said, "You know what, Mom? I'm gone. I'm done." So when Mama spoke,
That was it.
she did it. She didn't. Yeah.
Daddy was the breadwinner. Mama was the nurturer.
Yeah.
So one thing I can see now in my mind as we talking is the table of food that we used to have, and especially when we grew up in Benson, or even that other house too in Godwin. But sometimes we'll have two meats on Sundays because we did grow up all of our food. But I can picture that in my mind now. The meals.
Mm-hmm.
And every Christmas she would cook
7 cakes.
7 cakes.
7 cakes. 7 cakes.
Yeah.
5 layer, not 1 layer.
5-layer cakes.
Yeah.
7 5-layer cakes.
Yes.
And they didn't last very long.
Yeah, they would be gone by New Year's, and she'd have to cook some more. Yeah. Mom was soft spoken, but you knew she meant what she said.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a talker or anything like that. She was soft spoken, but she was also, like you said, a disciplinary one.
Yes.
Daddy would just give you that look, and you knew.
Hey,
Just
yeah,
go
you
somewhere
know.
and sit down.
We're going to end now, and we hope everybody watching this can enjoy, your parents this weekend. Enjoy them, your mom, especially your mom, this Mother's Day. We can go out, have a good time, buy her some flowers, do all kind of stuff for her.
Show how much
Show
you
how
love her.
much you love her, and you care for her, and you appreciate you. Everybody got the final say so.
Reconcile. If you have had issues with your mother and she's still here, squash it
Fix it.
and get it right.
Yeah.
Because once she's gone, that's it. So whatever tiff you may have or disagreement you may have, let it go. This Mother's Day, reach out to your mother.
Yes.
Give her a big hug.
Show some love.
Again, thank you for joining in, and we hope this broadcast help encourage you to do your families like this. Get together. Family is everything. People come and go, but family is who we are.
Yes.
Your brothers, your sisters, your siblings, your aunts and uncles, your parents. Till we meet again. Everybody have a good night.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
See you next year.
Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD. I hope our listeners enjoyed the fond memories of our mother, Madeline Clark Warren. And I hope that everybody had a joyous Mother's Day, spend time with your mother, your grandmother, your stepmother, whoever she may be. I also encourage you to just get together as a family and just reminisce if your mom is deceased and just talk about the good times, the fond memories that you have together. If she's still living, just love on her a little more. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 12 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Father Forever University. My name is Glenn Warren, and I will be your instructor. Father Forever University is a remote learning experience where we take our 12-week class, and we meet here every Thursday night from 6 until 7, and we talk about fatherhood. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about where your child support money is going. We teach classes about fatherhood and how important it is to be in your child's life. So these 12 weeks is going to be very important for you guys to understand and the concept of fatherhood and what we're trying to teach you. Father Forever University is broken down into 12 weeks, and you can start at any time during those 12 weeks. The key to it is finishing those 12 weeks. Every lesson is in lecture format, where you listen to that lecture, and then on Thursday nights, we discuss that lecture. The Thursday night discussion is where your homework will be due. Part of your homework assignment every Thursday night is to one, we're going to ask you the question, what did you learn? And the second question, how am I going to apply what I learned? We also have specific assignments for each lesson in the notes below. This has been an introduction into Father Forever University. Now let's get started in lesson 1.